Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a new community FS exported ATR72-600 that's released on flightsim.to. So it's set freeware and it's a change from the ATR72 by virtual call from FSX. Apparently, according to all of the documents and the description on flightsim.to, the adaptation for MSFS has been done with formal permission granted by Virtual Col as well, which is really good if that's the case. It's based upon the version that was released a little while ago for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which was using the CJ4 cockpit. But this one now actually uses the King Air cockpit instead, the King Air panel. So I thought I'd have a little look, a little bit more akin to what it would be like, I guess, compared to the CJ4 cockpit. All the links for this will be in the description for today's video. Please make sure you hit like and subscribe as well while you're here. So, I've not long taken off from it. I did note that during departure it took off like an absolute rocket, and I have noted that with the throttle, because obviously it's a King Air flight deck cockpit, it's pretty much all or nothing. So if I reduce it a little bit there, you can see the prop M1 dropping back. But very quickly the speed drops off as well, and unrealistically so. I mean, that's 80% N1 and we're almost getting close to needing flaps, otherwise we'll stall. And then we go an inch forwards and all of a sudden, or even half an inch forwards, we get 90% N1 and the speed rockets back up again. So very much a work in progress. Today's the first day it's been released, but it's much better now it has a King Air panel in it. Eventually it'd be nice to see an actual ATR panel. I have noted that it's not particularly user friendly and it's not really something that we could use on VATSIM. None of this, for example, works, so we can't change the radio stack frequencies, tune anything here, and I'm clicking all of this, there's nothing at all appearing here. The menu button works, you can click it, it comes up as a thumb, and that's as far as we get here. And then we can enter in here 122.8. So that's the only way currently to be able to change your comms frequency, and then you can transfer it to the active, as you can see there. So the glass cockpit, that element to it works. You've got to press menu a couple of times just to wake it up, get it kicking. Same with map and things as well. The functions in here allow you to sort of enjoy it if you like. So yeah, for a free aeroplane, and for this being version 1 if you like, it's very good in the sense that it could be quite promising if it's managed and developed properly over a period of time. So what else can it do? Let's clear the menu. So far I've been making a little use of the autopilot panel here, and it's akin to the one in the King Air itself, so actually it all works as you'd expect in the King Air, half bank modes and everything else. So all of this is correct. One thing that I will note is the barometer up the top here has been frozen, so this doesn't work, it's been frozen by the developer. So to change the barometric pressure here, you need to go down to the wheel down below. There we are, we've changed to 300. Let's go back to 2992. There we are. So that's the only way to change the barometric pressure at the moment. Most of these switches work and do things, and the lights also do work on the mod as well. So let's go to night time. You can see we've got some basic logo lights, beacon, nav lights and some strobes, although all not very bright. Currently, at time of recording, there's no liveries available for this. However, there is a file within the download where you can actually download a livery converter that will allow you to switch a load of the ATR liveries available on flightsim.to across to be compatible with this new variant that's been released. There's Birmingham Airport down below by Mac Simulations. So first time flying this, takeoff was absolutely fine. Gear mechanisms and everything work as well as flaps, and they all do change the dynamics of the airflow and the way the wings work and generate lift and drag as well, which is good to see. It is very difficult though to manage throttle, knowing that actually it's all or nothing. So I'm trying to hold a nice speed here, and it's either it accelerates really rapidly or you lose speed rapidly as well. But there's the gear. I'll show you guys the animation whilst to try not to stall. I've actually put in loads of flaps, and I've noticed there's a tendency for the aeroplane to go nose up, bizarrely, as it should be nose down, so that needs fixing. Let's deactivate the autopilot and start a bit of a, oops, that's very tight, very sensitive. Start a turn round to the right hand side to fly a bit of a visual approach into Birmingham, shall we? We can go full flaps. I'm using 20, let's do 30 degrees bank, shall we? There's the airport. So I'm coming in high because I'm interested to see how the speed will slip away, because in reality this is a very steep descent that I'm doing and we shouldn't really be losing speed, but interestingly we're holding 153 knots now and we are very steep. About 7 degrees nose down. But you know, it's controllable and it's free. So for those of you who don't really want the high levels of detail in an aeroplane in Microsoft Flight Simulator and you just want a plane, then this is fantastic. This is great for you to have a little blast around in. I haven't tried the autopilot in the sense that you know, having a look at whether or not it would be able to fly an ILS approach, for example. I've not got around to testing that yet. There's 1 red, 2 red. There's power to slow the rate of descent. Oops. Yeah, it's all or nothing. So you're trying to find the happy medium with throttle to avoid overspeed, but also to avoid a stall. Nice and stable on the approach though, and it does fly quite well. We've got live weather on today, and there is actually a bit of a crosswind at Birmingham. 130. I'm trying to work out what the approach speeds would normally be for this. Still a bit quick, I'd imagine. But again, like, we're having to go quite nose up for the approach otherwise. So difficult with it being all or nothing on the throttle. And we're down. Ooh. Very freezy there, like the sim was unhappy with the aeroplane landing. And interestingly, it's locked up. So definitely something to do with the aeroplane itself. Lots of progress to be made though while we're sitting here with a sim freeze. This rarely happens to me. There we go. Interestingly, the aeroplane decelerates rapidly. It's locked up again. So we've touched down. I've not actually used any brakes yet. We've dropped off from about 90 knots to 30 knots in not too many seconds after touchdown. So a little interesting. While we wait for the sim to unfreeze again. Very odd. So I've done this particular little thing numerous times in different aeroplanes and other airports as well. Not had this issue before. So it'll be interesting to know if you guys have had the same problem if you're using the ATR72 from FlightSim.to as well. As you can see as well, I had no liveries attached to this as well, so it's not like there's a livery conversion that could be causing a bit of a problem here. I would imagine there's something within the configuration. There we go. I'd imagine there's something within the configuration of the aeroplane itself that's causing some issues. Friction wise on the ground, no brakes, yet we've come to a halt, which is interesting. So using the flight recorder mod, which is also on FlightSim.to, having a little replay of the landing to see what it was like at touchdown. It will have recorded the sim freeze as well, bizarrely, so
don't sink, 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 don't sink.
From what I've seen so far, you'll have to ignore the frustrating ground proximity warning system error. From what I've seen so far, it's actually quite nice to fly around in. It's just the touchdown itself there is an odd issue that I've not experienced before with any other aeroplane or scenery or anything, so not quite sure what the reason for that is. I would imagine there's something within the conversion or the files for the aeroplane that are causing the issue. See the little crosswind? The biggest issue really is the fact that you're having to manage the throttle, and the throttle itself is quite fiddly because it is, like I've said, all or nothing. You can see there I applied a bit and I got everything, so it killed the rate of descent somewhat. There we are. And we're down. Not too bad for a first go touching down in that. So there we go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you want to get your hands on it and give it a go yourself, just to throw it around the sim for a bit of fun. Check out the description for the link for the aeroplane, and hopefully there will be some great progress for it over the coming months in developing a good little community aeroplane for the sim. Perhaps if some modelers can get in touch with the developer as well, we can get some custom cockpit too, but for me the biggest things are going to be the issue with the sim freeze, that I'm not going to edit out, of course, but also the way that the throttle's working at the moment. So the throttle being all or nothing, that's quite difficult to deal with, especially on VATSIM. The flaps, adding in stages of flaps from clean should lower the nose, but it pitched the nose up quite significantly. That shouldn't happen either. So there's a couple of different issues with the actual configuration of the way the aeroplane flies, the files, the way they may have been coded. Apart from that, nice little bit of fun to blast around in from Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let me know what you guys think, and be sure to click that subscribe button down below too. Thanks for watching.